Hey guys, it's Christine here. I'm coming to you from my Plant, Field, and Fit kitchen. I just finished an awesome run outside. I did a 3.5 mile jog on the trails, and now I'm hungry, so I'm gonna make something good for breakfast. Today we're gonna make a skillet hash with a bunch of vegetables, and I'm gonna start by chopping my red onion. So I have a red onion here. I'm gonna put it on my awesome cutting board that says plants only, and I'm gonna chop it up. So here we go. So take my chef's knife. I'm going to cut down the middle. Oops, you have to use some muscles there. Cut off the ends. And this is where our awesome garbage bowl comes into handy. So you just throw the garbage in there, and once you have this filled up, you take it out to your compost bin, and then it does great things for all the vegetables you're planting in your garden. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to chop my onion now. So we threw everything into our garbage bin, and now we're going to make some nice slices this way, and then we're going to slice it again going through. Getting some good knife skills in the kitchen is a really important skill. It'll help you prep your vegetables a lot faster and make cooking a lot easier. So once we did that, now we're going to go across all of that, and as you can see, the onion's falling off, and we have some nice chopped onions here. So you just keep going so you get all that nice and chopped. Alright, this is the first thing we have to do is saute these, and since we're doing oil free, we don't use any oil, so we're just going to put it in, dump all of this into our saute pan, and if you find that it's sticky, you could add a tablespoon of water at a time to keep it from not sticking, but these onions should be okay on their own. But like I said, add some water, tablespoon at a time if you need to, okay? I'm going to put this on the stove now, alright? Alright, one of the other ingredients we need in our skillet hash is some nice mushrooms. This will give us some protein in there. People are always asking where we get our protein on a plant-based diet. Vegetables all have enough, but mushrooms are a good source too. So what I'm going to do here is just chop up my mushrooms, just hold on to it, slice down the middle, and then give it some good chopping. Once I get all these chopped out, they're going to go in with those onions that are sauteing on the stove right now. So here's a red bell pepper. We're going to add this to the onions that are sauteing on the stove. So I'm going to chop it. I'll show you how to cut this red bell pepper. So we're going to go all the way down the sides until we have it all the way around. And then chop off the bottom. Now we have all the seeds mostly in the middle here. We're going to throw this into our garbage bowl. It's in our garbage bowl, and that's going to go to the compost bin later. If we need to get some of the rest of these seeds out, just dump them in the sink. I don't mind a little seed in my saute though. So once we have all of these, then we're just going to slice them. Get those seeds flying. And then keep on slicing. We have it like this. Again, we're going to slice this way. Once we have the strips, we're going to turn them, and we're going to slice this way. Alright, once we get all these sliced up, they're going to go in and saute with our onions. Again, add a tablespoon of water at a time if you need to. Alright, so these are the onions that we're sauteing in our saute pan over here. I have an induction cooktop, so it heats up real quick. I probably have a little too high, so I'm going to turn it down. Again, just add so that the onions don't stick, a tablespoon of water at a time. So I have a little cup here, a measuring cup that I have with water. I'm just going to dump a little bit in, and you can see they're browning up really nice if you want to come in for a closer view. And we just use our wooden spatula, and we mix it all around, and they're getting nice and golden brown and caramelized. Then we're going to add in those red bell peppers that we chopped up. And we're going to dump those in, and then once the red bell peppers cook down a little bit, we'll add in those mushrooms. So some roasted cauliflower and sweet potatoes are something else that we're going to add into that saute pan at the very end. So I'm just going to cut some cauliflower here, and I'm going to leave it in some nice bigger chunks. Roasted cauliflower is amazing. If you've never done it before, just roasting it brings out a really nice nutty flavor. There's so much you can do with cauliflower, but roasting it is an awesome choice. So I already have a pan that I had been roasting some sweet potatoes on. These were in the oven at 425 for about 10 minutes, and now that they're roasted all up, I'm going to add my cauliflower to the other side. And I'm going to stick it back into the oven at 425 for about another 10 to 15 minutes while the stuff in the saute pan's going. Another source of protein that we're going to use to add to our skillet hash is some red beans. If you have the forethought and the time to soak and then cook your own, that's great. I have some canned beans that I got. They're organic red beans. I just drain them and rinse them off with water to get rid of any salt that might have been in the canned beans, and then I'm going to add that to the hash. Even if a recipe doesn't call for it, I always like to try to up the nutrient value of whatever I'm eating by adding some greens. So we have some nice kale leaves here, and I'm going to add that to the hash as well. So I'm going a little crazy adding so much stuff here, but it's all going to taste delicious in the end. So how we're going to strip these kale leaves is you just hold the kale leaves by the stem, and then you just run your hand down it, and it pulls the stem right off. And then it leaves the nice leafy part there. And we can just roll it up a little bit, take our knife, and then chop into it one way, and then grab it and turn it the other way, and then chop into it this way. Cutting up your greens makes it a lot easier to eat, especially the kale, and then we'll just dump that into the bowl as well. Alright guys, we're at our final step of the dish we're making today, the skillet vegetable hash. We've been sauteing in our saute pan the red onions, the red bell pepper, the red beans, the mushrooms, and the kale. So they're really nice and tender over here right now. The last thing we're going to add is what we've been roasting in the oven. So we have what's been roasting in the oven is the roasted sweet potato and the roasted cauliflower. So look how nice and brown that cauliflower got. Like I said before, it's going to have that nice, really nutty texture, nutty flavor and texture now. We're just going to pick up our spatula, and we're going to start adding that into our skillet. Once all that's in there, we'll just mix it around to let it all heat together, and then we'll be ready to eat it. You might be wondering, we haven't added any seasoning yet. We're doing a no salt, no oil, no sugar diet in the house, so all we're going to use to season it up is some granulated garlic and some onion powder. We'll just sprinkle those in. No need to measure them out, just do it till it tastes good. And that's about it. We also have a pepper grinder. We could add some grinded fresh pepper in here for the extra flavor, and if you think something's still missing, a good balsamic vinegar is always a nice touch. So we're just stirring it all around, and then it's going to be good to be plated. Alright, it's looking good, so I'm going to scoop some onto my plate with a spatula. Make sure I get all the good stuff, a little bit of everything. Let's see how this, what do you think? Does it look good? Let's see how it tastes. I'll take my fork. Maybe a little hot still. A piece of that cauliflower and the sweet potato. That's good. Delicious. I hope you enjoyed this cooking demonstration. And I'll see you next time in my kitchen at Plant, Field, and Fit. Thanks.